This Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal has somehow completely reversed all the ill will and resentment towards DICE.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And to be completely honest, I can't remember the last time, if ever, a game has laid out the red carpet like this for an introduction to a new game. The amount of content creators and streamers that were all there for this event playing together was absolutely mind-blowing. They even poached some of the Fortnite competitive commentators so it would bring that style to this online introduction. And it worked. They brought their vibe and their perspective to Battlefield, and it felt like they were having just as much fun as everyone that was playing it. And even before we got to the actual multiplayer reveal with the introduction with some of the developers, yeah, it was kind of cringy, right? But at the same time, these are a bunch of smart nerds, so they're going to be a little bit awkward. But it was in what followed them that everyone paid attention to, that everyone wanted to talk about. Every little bit they leaked out to us showed so much passion, effort. It felt like they really had studied what worked so well for them in the past and brought it to the present. Credit where credit is due. They absolutely killed it here. We do at some level have to recognize that sometimes when a game like 2042 sucks, it isn't that much more complicated than they didn't put the effort in where they were supposed to. If people feel a passion and a connection to what they're creating, they're going to put more time, more effort, more concentration in. Just like professional athletes, these designers, they can get locked into the zone and they can find themselves making some amazing codes that help make the game that much better. It's these little contributions that begin to add up and feel cumulative, and then in the end process, you see an amazing product. We don't need DICE and Battlefield to redesign the wheel. They just need to give us a wheel that looks pretty and moves really fast. And from what we saw in the reveal, oh, it's beautiful and it moves fast. Starting with the sound design, it was something I felt like stood out so much yesterday. From the explosions, the gun sounds, it all felt so real and so in your face. And I feel like that's such a major part of why we love Battlefield, because it just feels so overwhelming. And this is an area that Battlefield can really stand out when compared to Call of Duty, because the Call of Duty maps multiplayer, they're so much smaller. So when you put people into a massive map in the middle of a massive battle with tanks, jets, helicopters, hundreds of men running at each other, it's that feeling you get. You have to take advantage of the sound design. You have to make people hear it. Let's just drink your water. The maps from this game may end up being the most vital, important piece in this entire thing. Because if you really think about it, franchises like Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, they've all been doing essentially the same thing for the past 20 years. And the question is, as we enter in this new era of video gaming, can they give us something that helps them stand out and feels new enough to keep their franchise relevant? Feels like an unspoken rule about the Battlefield community is that you never really talk about how much more destruction there is in the trailers before the release than in the actual game after it releases. They haven't been able to bring that level of destruction to the common console, to the average PC. If Battlefield was really made the way they wanted it to be with the amount of destruction they wanted, no one would be able to buy it because no one would be able to afford the computer that it would take to play the game. Trailers have just always exceeded the gameplay. That's just a reality. But from what we saw in the gameplay on the reveal, this might be the first time they're going to live up to what they promised. We saw buildings coming down. We saw the sides of building dropping off, exposing other soldiers. We saw them going through the ground into the level beneath them. One of the main reasons battle royales and extractions are so popular is because every round genuinely tells a new story. It's very rare that you have two games that ever really feel the same, whereas in one game of Call of Duty, you can feel like you had the same thing happen to you over 20 times. But with this new ability to destroy the entire map, it's going to feel like something new every time you get into a game, because it's probably not going to be the same areas that are destroyed in the same manner every single time. The main goal is always to create as much dissonance between rounds as you can, create as much of a difference between what happened that game and this game. And last but not least, but we have to talk about it, is that Battlefield will be bringing their own battle royale back called Firestorm. And as per usual, that's completely divided the fan base, but it seems like there's this misconception that you can't have a good BR and also multiplayer mode. What people don't realize is that you can have both. You just have to appropriate your resources and assets appropriately. When the battle royale came out, so many studios found themselves taking their existing resources and then dividing them up to have them work on a battle royale. And naturally, what did that do? Take away from the other roles they were working on. But if you hire and take on the necessary assets you need to create a whole new mode, then it shouldn't impact the people that are already working on that other mode. And that's what it feels like Battlefield did here. They had a team working on the campaign, the multiplayer, the battle royale, and it seems like they cared about each one just as much as the other. I'm a firm believer that DICE, Battlefield, EA, they would not be spending all this money, putting all this energy and effort if they were just trying to rug pull us again. I think they genuinely know this is their last shot before this IP is completely dead. So if they put in all their effort and give us something that we just absolutely love and adore, we'll welcome them back into our good graces, and all eyes are on Battlefield. It's almost like the failure of 2042 allowed them to get this spotlight, and they're taking advantage of it. So if this game really as good as it's looked so far in both reveals for the campaign and multiplayer, then I think we have a massive hit on our hands, and we're gonna have a lot of fun this upcoming winter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, that's enough yapping for today. As always, hit that subscription button and turn on notifications. Go out there and do something great.